Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day wherever you are, and today's video is going to be about products that I don't use but I also don't declutter. Now if you've been on my channel for a while, I do declutter every 3 months. I declutter all the time and I don't try to keep stuff that I don't use, but some stuff I have kept for a long time that I don't use. So today we're going to talk about those things and why I haven't decluttered them. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, before we get started, I may seem a little bit off and I feel extremely anxious today. I do have a lot to do, so I did need to go ahead and film this video, but it's just been a rough day. Like, maintenance was here first thing in the morning to fix my hot water for the second time this week, and then water started pouring from the upstairs apartments. Like, there's a hole in the ceiling in the hallway, and it started pouring and it was leaking into my apartment. There was water everywhere, and then my computer crashed, like blue screen of death, before the Jeffree launch today, so I was having anxiety about that. And then I don't know if I got the Jeffree palette because it's like, we're confirming your pay. It's been a day and I still have so much to do, and now I have to go across town to like wash all my towels and stuff because they're all soaked in water. So if I seem a little off, it has been a day and I needed to rant about it to somebody. So you're that somebody today. My hair looks like weirdness. Anyways, let's get into it. These are my personal opinions. We disagree on anything, it's cool. It's just makeup. It's not that serious. Okay guys, so a lot of this stuff is stuff you've seen before on my channel, things I've had for a while, and one or two of these things are things that are more new. So let's start off with the Jeffree Star stuff because I have a lot of Jeffree Star stuff that I don't use all the time, and there's some things that I go for every single day. So I picked two palettes that I never reached for. Beauty Killer, which is the original palette. It's a cute color scheme, but these things just seem so random to me these days. Other than like the purples, the reds, and the pink, a lot of this just seems so random. I did love this for a really long time. The shades Courtney and China White are like my most used shades in this palette, and I think it's just a little old, so I don't really reach for it. This color scheme doesn't appeal to me as much as it once did because I was like, oh my gosh, the first Jeffree Star palette, and I was such a big Jeffree Star fan throughout high school and everything like that, and his fashion line and his music, and when he first released makeup, I was like dying to have it. So this was the first thing. I do miss this packaging, the really thin, easy $45 palettes. I do miss this packaging. I wish you would make a new palette like that, but I never use it. But for Jeffree Star videos and references and stuff, I do keep it. And I also have all the Jeffree Star palettes, so why would I want to get rid of one? And if you guys want to see, I was thinking about filming like a revisiting this palette and see if the quality is still good because I haven't used it in quite a long time. That's a beautiful highlighter. That Princess Cut highlighter is based off this Princess Cut shade, or this Princess shade. So pretty. So if you guys want to see a like revisiting this palette video, I would certainly do that. I've been thinking about it for a while, but I'm like, I don't know if anybody would watch it because it is such an older video and you can get this fresh now, you know, not a couple years old. The other palette that I don't use, you guys thought I was going to say androgyny, but I do use that one shade for a contour sometimes. So Thirsty palette. It came out last year, I believe it was last year's summer collection. Was it last year, you guys? I feel like I lose track of when his launches were. I guess it had to been the year before. Maybe it wasn't last year because I feel like a lot of palettes has come out since then, like the train cases and stuff. So the Thirsty palette, the packaging with the little water droplets is super cute. I just am not a fan of this glittery formula. The mattes in this are still really nice. They're very hard pressed, so they don't leave much fallout in the pan. I do like something a little softer personally, but there are really good mattes in here. The yellow is not my favorite yellow in the world, but this Kumquat shade I used to like adore. So if it wasn't for everything being matte except for these glitters, I don't really like the glitters. So that's why I never reach for this. And I don't use warm tones. So if it wasn't for this, I don't think this palette would have sold as much as it did, but the pops of color made it much more of a summery palette. I do wish there was like a bright orange in here because there's not. But let's move on. So the only Jeffree Star stuff that I don't use other than that is like, I don't really use the liquid highlight, but I'm not going to include that in this video because I may use it for like my shoulders and stuff in the summertime. I never use the Supreme Frost. It's not my jam. I feel like it's expensive for the price. This is Wet Dream. It's not for me. I feel like the packaging is really thick for this little bit of highlight in here. I know it's like a special pressed pearl, but it's just a hard dry thing. It doesn't apply well with a brush. It's supposed to be applied with a finger, and then your finger gets all glittery, and there's not much of a base highlight to it. It is just kind of a glitter. So I keep it for references and for Jeffree Star reviews, and it was kind of expensive, but it's not something I ever reach for. Ever. Like, there's some things you reach for maybe once in a while. This is like never reach for it because it's just dry not, I mean, I want to use a brush to apply my highlight, you know? Unless I'm using like a jelly, then I'll use my finger, but for like a powder, I should not use my finger. It just feels weird, feels wrong. Okay, so next up, Jeffree Star stuff is this, but I keep it for nostalgia. I would say sentimental reasons, but I don't have like a sentimental attachment to it. So this is the Onyx Ice Highlighter. I did a review of this and I had 2 million views and I gained like 10,000 subscribers, and it was honestly like I could cry. It was an amazing day. And I keep that because I had that giant video with it. I don't have a sentimental attachment to that because I know I did the video. The product itself does not hold any memories. Me having that experience of having all those views and like having all these people like giving me feedback on my channel that I'd never had before. But I keep it just because it is that, but I don't have any like attachment to it. I don't know why I keep it. I always keep it though, just because I feel like it's what you're supposed to do, you know? And it's really pretty. Like, I don't know if I'd ever use it. I'm already over here. I'll just put it, there we go, in my special effects drawer, because that's probably what you can use it for the most. And it's too big of a pan for highlighter, you know? Or, yeah, I mean, it's too big of a pan for eyeshadow. It is supposed to be a highlighter, but that was a weird video, you guys. But, oh my gosh, I was so meek and little in that video, and I was so uncomfortable on camera, but I feel like I've grown so much, and that video really changed my life. So, next up, I know you're confused. I know you're confused because I wear this lipstick every freaking day. I didn't wear it today because I put dark color in my waterline. I wanted a lighter lip. But I would say 4 times a week I am wearing this color, and it is Daddy. It is the Manny MUA and Jeffree Star collab. Now, this is a backup. My original one I still use. It's almost empty, so I went on Beautylish where it's still in stock and I bought this. The reason this is in this video is why I don't use it is because it stays separated, right? It's separated all the time, even if you stir it. And then the wand is decolored, so I don't know if it was expired or not. It doesn't smell like anything, so I don't know what smelling off is like. But this is I don't know if you can even tell. It's pink. The wand is discolored, so it's brown in some parts and pink in some parts. So the wand is really discolored and it stays pretty separated. So I haven't used it. Like, even when you look in here, it's like little pink streaks. You can't tell, it's too small, on the tube. So I feel like it's expired. Now, I did get a refund from Beautylish for it because I showed them the picture. They wanted pictures of, like, I put the regular wand from the original release next to this wand, and this one's really pink. So I'm scared to use it. But I also really love this color and don't have a dupe for it, so I may just suck it up and use this eventually anyways. But I'm not decluttering it, even though I got a refund for it, because if I run out of the other color, I'm gonna take the risk. If I like empty the other Daddy, I'm gonna take the risk and use this one. But I should declutter it. Like, I don't use it for this scary, sketchy reason. But if I run out of the other one, I'm gonna take that risk. But it is really sketchy looking. Like, why is it pink? All the Jeffree Star ones I have, none of them are pink like that. So next up, that's the Jeffree Star stuff. I guess I do have a Jeffree Star collab. Oh, never mind. I have 2 Jeffree Star collabs. Now, I know this product is reformulated, so the Jeffree Star lip liners I don't use because they were horrible and disgusting and hurtful and horrible, but they've been reformulated, so I'm not going to include that. I also don't use the stick lipstick very much, but that's just a personal preference. The collabs that I don't use are the Jeffree Star and Jouer Sweet Tooth Little Gloss. It's been years. It's still really pretty. It still smells really sweet, but I don't use gloss. This is a gorgeous color though, and I was like so excited to get my hands on it at first. The Jeffree Star logo on the top. And the other Jeffree Star collab, this is actually half off. You can go on Morphe's website, and it's also half off on Ulta, I believe, right now. All the Jeffree Star products. I ended up buying 2 extra Jeffree Star eyebrow brushes. That's the only thing I wanted. I don't really like Morphe brushes, but I really love good eyebrow brushes. So I had one and I bought 2 since they were on sale for $2. Why would I not want some good pink eyebrow brushes for $2? But the palette I never use because it's just not it. I mean, you guys saw my review. It's fine, like, it's okay. It is definitely drugstore quality, and for putting Jeffree Star's name on it, I really wish it was like fantastic drugstore quality. I've had better Morphe palettes than this. The mattes just seem so dry. The shimmers are not like fantastic, beautiful, blow me away. A lot of the shimmers in here are very subtle, and you think I'd really want these greens, but honestly, nothing about this appeals to me. I don't know. I never reach for this thing. I can't even tell you what colors are in here if I had my eyes closed. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad there's only one pressed glitter in here, but the mattes are kind of hard pressed. They take some building up, and then the shimmers are kind of dull. But if you wanted a Jeffree Star palette, at least it's on sale now, you know? But it's not Jeffree Star quality. Even though Jeffree Star's quality is hit or miss, you know? All right, so that's it for Jeffree Star stuff. I feel like we ranted about his brand enough. So next up, my Gwen Stefani cheek palette from Urban Decay. This is like, there's a black palette and there's a white cheek palette. Now it's harder to get your hands on this one. People just, I don't think, bought it as much as the eyeshadow palette. It's so cute. I bought this off Poshmark and it was like brand new, but I've used it since then. And I do love it. I love the glowy blushes in here, but personally, this color that's matte, I don't get if it's supposed to be a blush or not, and this shade right here is kind of weird. I like the glowy top row. Like, this is more of like a very satiny blush. This is a glowy blush. This one's more of a highlighter, but you can mix it into your blush, and it looks really pretty. So this cheek palette, I never reach for, simply because I can't tag it in my description box if I do a get ready with me video, and it's kind of thick. So in my normal storage, it's not easy to reach for. So basically, that's why I don't use it that much, and because I have these colors and singles that are easier for me to grab. But it's Gwen Stefani, it's Urban Decay, I'm not getting rid of it, ever. I mean, I did think about decluttering it one time because I really just love the eyeshadow palette from that collection, but it's beautiful and I can't get my hands on it again, so it's staying here. Even if it's expired, I do not care. Speaking of expired, the Marilyn Monroe and MAC lipstick from years ago. I bought this like 7 years ago. This is the shade Love Goddess. Every advertisement when this collection was supposed to be dropping looked like a pink. Am I losing my voice? Look like a pink. I mean, look like a red, and it is a pink actually. I haven't swatched this in years. I mean, it still swatches okay. It's very gummy, but it's a pink. It looked red in the advertisements. So this was the only shade. I went on release day to the MAC store in Virginia Beach, which is an hour and a half from where I lived, just to get this collection. This is the only shade that wasn't sold out, so I bought it. And just keeping it because it's Marilyn Monroe. After that, oh my gosh, I sound so funny. Two palettes. Let's do palettes. So the Edward Scissorhands palette with Sugarpill. I've had it forever. This was my first ever high-end palette, and this is my favorite shadow of all time. It's called Ice Angel, which looks like an icy white color, but it has such a beautiful bluey hue to it. This does come in singles. The palette was limited edition, so I can't get this again. However, I do have a single Ice Angel, and I feel like the Ice Angel in the palette is slightly softer. So if you are looking for this beautiful, icy, reflective, slightly blue hue, I mean, I've actually done my makeup where I put this all over my face just to see how it would look on my face. Like, I just took it and packed it on my face with this one shade. It's beautiful. I would definitely suggest the singles. The one shade I would not suggest would maybe be the Inventor, because it's just a gray. It's not very good. But the blues and the oranges are good too. These two shades are like average at best, but the rest of the singles in the palette are so good. Okay, last palette. It hurts me to say this, you guys, because I have raved and ranted about this palette and I still love it to death, but I never reach for the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette. This was on sale the other day, you guys, for like a great deal. I think it still might be. I really want that little rust palette. It had like 6 shades in it. I had it in a mystery box from Colored Raine, but then I just got rid of it when I should have used it because it was beautiful. But this is the Queen of Hearts palette, you guys. It's so beautiful. Like, I love the color scheme in here. I love the quality of this palette. There's 1 or 2 mattes that are more hard than others, but it's stunning and it's everything, and I'm never getting rid of it because it is just so stunning. But I never use it because, one, it's hard to see when I'm putting it against other palettes. It just looks like a black palette and I don't really think about it. I'm like drawing my eye to the top of the palette. At least with like this palette tells you what it is, and like I know the hot pink and colors and stuff. This just blends in with the rest of my palettes and I forget to use it. And it's also a warm color scheme and I don't really use warms that much. But the gold in here, oh my gosh, the gold in here is so good. Like, it's truly a beautiful quality palette. Colored Raine is so underrated. I feel like people don't hype them enough. They're so good. Like, I wore a Colored Raine liquid lipstick yesterday and I was in love with it. It's called Classy. It's on clearance for $5 still, you guys. Get Classy if you place an order on Colored Raine. It's so good. Not sponsored. I don't even know if they do sponsorships. I never really see that. Okay, next up I have a couple face things. So I have 2 sprays. This is not old. It's the 4th Ray Beauty Glisten Up from Colourpop. I got this because Julia Mazzucato, I think that's how you say her name, suggested it, and it's really pretty, but I never use it because if I'm setting my face, I usually go for that Becca Glow Mist because I'm like, what if I have to go run errands? I don't want my face to look oily, and this may make my makeup break down because I do use a lot of powders and everything. If I was wearing light makeup or dewy makeup with not a bunch of powder on my face, I'd probably reach this more, but I'm so worried that I'm gonna have to run errands, and then this is gonna make my makeup look more broken down throughout the day. So that's why I never reach for this, but it's stunning. Like, if I knew I was just gonna film some videos today and chill at home, I would probably use that way more often, but I never know what I'm gonna do. There's always something I need out of the house for some reason. When I'm trying to stay home and self-isolate, there's always something I need. Okay, so the other spray, why do I feel the need to shake these up when I show them? The Misfit Beauty Co. Edward Scissorhands. Oh, we have 2 Edward Scissorhands products in this video. This is the Misfit Beauty Co. Darn This Stuff Primer and Setting Spray with Edward on the front. I pre-ordered the eyeshadow palettes, I don't remember what it was called, the eyeshadow palette that was Edward Scissorhands themed from them. I have decluttered that since then because the color scheme just seemed kind of random to me, but it had Edward Scissorhands on it, so I had to pre-order it, obviously. Look at my Edward palette, my Edward tattoo. It's fading so bad from the Florida sun. Like, it looked so crispy and good fresh, but I love Edward Scissorhands. I have this, but I mean, it looks like I've used it a lot, and I don't feel like I've used it that much. I never reach for it because there's other setting sprays that I reach for more, honestly. And because once I finish this, do I throw the bottle away? Because it has him on it. I don't know if I want to. I probably will. The last 2 things are 2 face things, like I said. So we have one concealer. This is the Juvia's Place concealer in 21. It's a perfect like color. It's so neutral. Like, it's a little light for me right now because I'm very tan, but it's a beautiful thing. I never reached for it just because it makes my under eyes look a little dry, but I love the coverage for being a drugstore recommendation, like something I can recommend to you guys that is high coverage concealer. I like this formula, but it does look a little dry. So if my skin is very moisturized today, I may reach for it, but I never reach for it because my skin has been parched. The last thing in this video is the Il Makiage foundation. This is something this is my second one actually. I didn't even finish the first one. I got a replacement of this and I gave the other one away, so it would, like, they would use it for it went bad. But this is the shade 10. Woke Up Like This foundation from Il Makiage, and this just looks heavy on my skin. I do like it. I get a lot of compliments when I wear it, but I never reach for it just because it looks kind of heavy. So that's the only thing. Like, I want to get the Huda Beauty foundation because I love a full coverage moment, but people say it feels heavy on the skin, so that's the reason I don't reach for this, and probably the reason I won't pick up the Huda Beauty one, even though when people wear it, it looks so good. It looks so good. Like the Kat Von D foundation, I tried once, but it wasn't the right shade, so I want to try it again because it's one of those full coverage foundations, but people say it's also heavy on the skin, and I don't remember, so I don't know. You guys let me know how about the Huda Beauty foundation and the Kat Von D foundation. People swear by both of those things, so I want to know if they're good. You guys can let me know down below. So anyways, that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for distracting me from my long, horrible day, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you're not subscribed already, I greatly appreciate it if you did that, and I'll see you later. Bye.